It's official, the Commanders have landed their franchise quarterback, taking Jayden Daniels, number 2 overall. He's heading into Washington into a great situation, having two top receivers in Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson, and also sliding into the air raid system with Cliff Kingsbury that's very similar to the offense that he ran out of college. Today I want to dive into Jayden Daniels' film, analyze what he does well, what he's bringing to these Commanders, and why I really truly believe that he can be the franchise quarterback for the Commanders for years to come. Jumping to this first play, I really want to highlight the ability of Daniels to be able to read safety rotation, read sideline to sideline, and fully understand the whole picture of a defense. So we see pre-snap here, we got a single high look. We're going to be working the slot fade here towards the bottom of the screen. We see at the snap here, this safety is going to push and squat over top of the slot fade, taking it away. Jayden Daniels knows with the single high structure and the safety push over top of the slot fade, this is going to give him a free access, massive window to hit the glance back into the boundary here. I'll play roll from the top one more time, but we see the single high, we see the safety push to the field here, allowing this vacated space, this massive void to happen for him to progress back to the other side of the field to pick up a big time touchdown for his offense. Moving on to this next play, we're going to see a similar example here of the defense. They're sitting in a single high shell with the safety rolled down due to the quads formation. The offense is going to motion out of this and get to a Hank concept, a four vert style concept here. And we're going to see at the snap of the ball, Jayden Daniels is going to do a great job using his eyes to manipulate the single high safety. He's going to stare down the boundary go route here and the boundary seam here to hold that safety and prevent him from rotating back towards the field. Not only does this hold the safety to create a bigger window, but it's going to allow his receiver to the field to buy him some time so he can clear that under coverage and get up into the seam into that window. I'll have to play roll from the top one more time here, but just keep an eye out on the seam here to the field. Look how he has to buy some time here so he can clear that under coverage. If Jayden was just to stare down this seam ball back to the field, the safety would get back over the top it, rob it, and completely take away the play. But because Jayden Daniels used his eyes to manipulate that safety, not only did he create a massive void for that seam, but it also created a much bigger window for a run after catch ability for his receivers to work. There's no doubt about it, Daniels is excellent at reading pre-snap safety leverage and pre-snap safety rotation to really tear apart defenses. But what happens when a defense tries to disguise their shell and try to screw with his eyes here pre and post snap? So here we go in this next play. We got Auburn. They're showing a two high shell, even with his boundary safety creep down a little bit, maybe rolling to 3 weak, maybe playing cover 2. But at the snap of the ball here, post snap, the read completely changes. We see that field safety who was high is now running down to be that hook curl player, and the safety rotation completely flips. This is supposed to make Jayden Daniels panic, maybe screw with his eyes a little bit, maybe make him hold on to the ball for a little too long, but he doesn't panic. He progresses from his boundary go back and finds his inside seam read, just playing off that safety rotation. Again, he's cool, calm, and collected in the pocket. Even when that pre-snap picture changes post-snap, he's not going to panic. He's not going to freak out. We see as the play rolls from the top again here, we see the safety. He's keying that boundary safety, keying that boundary go route. As soon as he sees that safety push back to the field, he realizes that safety rotation flipped. So he stays calm in the pocket, progresses back from the boundary back to the field to find that inside seam. Again, picking another big time explosive play for the offense. There's no doubt about it, Jayden Daniels is one of the most pro-ready quarterbacks in this draft class. He shows play after play, week after week, that he's able to read safety rotation pre and post snap, that he can progress from his reads from sideline to sideline, no matter what the defense throws at him, no matter how they try to disguise their coverage or how they want to screw with his eyes. He's going to sit back in that pocket, play cool, calm, and collected, and dissect the defense week in and week out. There's no doubt about it. It's great to be able to read safety rotation. It's great to go through your entire progression from sideline to sideline. But what's going to make you capitalize off that? What's the most important factor to that? And that's the ability to make a throw across any part of the field. You can read safety rotation, but if you can't hit a slot fade, if you can't hit that seam ball, if you can't hit a whole shot against cover 2, then it means nothing. You need to have the arm talent to push the ball down the field and really start to gash defenses. And that's what Jayden Daniels excels at. He's one of the best deep ball throwers in the country, whether it's throwing a slot fade to some of his top receivers, whether it's throwing that seam ball, whether it's just off of play action, throwing those big posts over the top when that middle field safety wants to jump the crossers. No matter what it is, he shows it week in and week out that he can push the ball down the field. And of course, Jayden Daniels just isn't this big gunslinger just throwing big posts, throwing slot fades. He shows the ability to throw with great anticipation. We see on this next play here, we freeze the frame. Jayden Daniels is already releasing this ball before his receivers, even out of his break. This allows great timing for his receiver not to get smothered by the corner, to buy him some time and space to allow him to work. Again, I'll let the play roll from the top one more time. Just keep an eye on Jayden Daniels here. He sees the underneath defender. He's carrying that inside receiver. He knows he's going to have free access for this outside curl from the opposite hash. He's releasing this before his receivers even out of his break. playing with great anticipation not only makes your offense work better, but it also gives your receivers a little bit of relief. They're not always playing through these contested catches, getting smothered by corners when the ball's being thrown late and not on time. Now let's move on to what I think is Jayden Daniels' best trait that everybody wants to highlight, and it's his running ability. The ability to dial up these quarterback RPOs, that ability when he does get pressure off the edge, if he does get a free rusher, his escape ability to get out of the pocket and get into the top gear and smoke past all these defenders, picking up these explosive plays. And I do want to overstate this that Jayden Daniels is not your traditional running quarterback. He's not a guy that gets out of the pocket, drops his eyes, and looks to run the ball all the time. He uses his legs to complement his game. He's going to get out of that pocket, get into the scramble drill, and keep his eyes up, looking to strike for a deep ball down the sideline, to pick up an explosive play for his offense. He's throw first, run second, and that's what makes him so different. He's a complete passer. He's able to read safety rotation. He's able to make full field progressions sideline to sideline. He has the arm talent to make throws all across the field. He uses his legs and his athletic ability as a complement, whether it's just dialing up a simple quarterback RPO to gain a hat in the box, whether it's to punish a defense or playing cover zero. All that is a compliment to what he already is, and that's an elite, high-level quarterback that's able to make NFL throws, that's able to make NFL reads. Jayden Daniels is a complete quarterback that adds the layer of being a freak athlete on top, and that's what makes him so special. That's what gives him such a high ceiling to possibly not only be the Washington Commanders franchise quarterback, but maybe even the best quarterback from this draft class.